All right. Welcome back, parents. Thank you for joining us for our fourth Parenting During a Pandemic session. We really appreciate all of your support through this unprecedented time. This is our counseling team's opportunity to connect with you and provide you with some necessary information on navigating through this virtual remote school year. Just a reminder, please know that we are recording this presentation and we will be emailing it out to everyone by the end of the week. We will include the links to this presentation, the PowerPoint, and all the articles that were used today. Next, I would like to reintroduce our amazing eSTEM administration, starting with STEM Director, Dr. Law, and our Dean, Ms. Howell. So here's our counseling team as well. My name is Mrs. Castanon, and I work directly with students' last names LL through Z. As counselors, it is our goal to serve students and their families in the areas of academic, college and career, and social emotional wellness. We advocate for students, provide them a supportive environment, and help guide them towards their academic, career, and life goals. We do this by providing school-wide curriculum, small groups, and when necessary, individually.
Thank you, Mrs. Casson. I'm Mr. Doran, students A through LI in the eSTEM Academy. I want to reintroduce Mrs. Gonzalez, our intervention counselor. She's a support for our counseling team. She specializes in social emotional health and well-being, and so she'll be joining us today as well. So our agenda today, right, our goal is going to be, just as it's been each week, is give you guys tips, tools, and skills to support your students, as well as help build a virtual village. So it should be about 15 to 30 minutes. And today's topic again is parenting during a pandemic, striving for balance. All right, all of us could use, a little bit more balance in our lives, especially with everything, being virtual and being distant. So we'll have some takeaways and resources after the information. And if there's any questions that you guys submitted beforehand, we'll be answering those as well. And I'm going to pass it on over to Mrs. Gonzalez.
So good evening, parents and caregivers. Tonight we're going to talk about how to help our STEM students find ways to have or maintain a healthy school-life balance. So why talk about this? According to recent studies, students in high-achieving schools are now named an at-risk group. One study by the National Academies of Sciences, Engineering, and Medicine added use in high-achieving schools to their list of at-risk groups, along with kids living in poverty and foster care, recent immigrants, and those with incarcerated parents. Another study by the Robert Wood Johnson Foundation included excessive pressure to excel in the top environmental conditions harming adolescents' wellness, along with poverty, trauma, and discrimination. While they acknowledge the stressors are markedly different, researchers are finding that all are at risk for elevated levels of chronic stress that can affect health and well-being. So where does all the pressure and anxiety come from? It comes from everywhere: school, challenging workloads; home, high expectations from parents and caregivers and students themselves; record low acceptance rates at top colleges. Students feel tremendous pressure to resume build in all aspects of their young lives. We know our STEM students excel, and many of them have healthy school life balances. Tonight, we are going to give ways we, as caregivers and parents, can help our teens continue to strive for balance. All right, Ms. Castanon, take it away.
Okay. Thank you, Mrs. Gonzalez, for sharing that info with us, as it is important for us who work with extraordinary students to know. Our STEM students are wanting to attend college, they want to get involved with extracurricular activities, have commitments with family, community, and more. Their time is consumed with all these activities, and academics is taking up a large portion of their time, which is not a terrible situation when it is an occasional thing. However, the research shows that it is concerning when the time they spend on academics is high and cuts into their time to have fun or do things that they enjoy. Not having that school life balance, spending countless hours on just academics, and too often neglecting the activities and or the people that make them happy can in turn cause students' mental health to suffer. This is important for us to know, since we work with and you are parents of our amazing STEM students who are high achieving students. We cannot dismiss this info. Instead, in order for us to help students function at their highest potential, it is necessary we help them find a balance between the various roles that they play. In this next slide, we can see Maslow's hierarchy of needs pyramid, and we will discuss how our students' physical and emotional well-being plays a major role in academic and personal success. Simple psychology breaks down Maslow's hierarchy of needs for us, and I will share it with you. So in a nutshell, basically Maslow's hierarchy of needs is a motivational theory in psychology composed of a five-tier model of human needs. Needs lower down in the hierarchy must be satisfied before individuals can attain the needs higher up. From the bottom of the hierarchy upwards, the needs are physiological, safety, love and belonging, esteem, and self-actualization. You may be asking yourself, why is it that we need to know this? Well, we need to help our students meet their needs in all areas of this hierarchy of needs to help them achieve self-actualization. Their highest potential in academics, before they reach self-actualization, students must have their basic needs met. These needs would include sleeping enough every day, taking breaks when needed, and having set eating times. Next, students need to feel loved and have a sense of belonging. To help them with this, students need time with their friends to establish meaningful relationships, as well as time with their family and community, so they feel loved and know they are supported. When students have their basic needs met, as well as their physiological, psychological needs met, they are on the path to achieving their full potential in academics and all areas of their lives. We must keep in mind that our job is to help our students fulfill these needs and remind them when they need to balance their time. And next, Mr. Dorian will share a little bit of tips for you guys as well.
Thank you, Mrs. Castanon. That was great. I really liked that graphic that we had to just demonstrate how each thing built on each other. So I wanted to kind of just take some takeaways in closing. We had a lot of information for you guys, and a lot of it's just really great information. And I know, at least for me, sometimes I get lost in information. And so what I wanted to do is kind of consolidate everything and give you guys some very key takeaways and some tangible things that either, if you aren't, maybe you already are doing them, maybe, and this may give you some different ideas. If you aren't, doing some of these things, maybe you can try them out to see, how your student responds. First one's just going to be supportive and listen. And this needs to be given time, right? So being supportive and listening, like there needs to be a designated time for that. And that can look like a lot of different things. It could look like, okay, hey, once a week we're going to have a family meeting. And we're going to kind of talk about what the week's going like and, kind of hear what's going on. Maybe it's, after dinner, let's go for a walk and let's kind of, chat and catch up. Maybe it's during lunch in the middle of the school or work day if you are at home with your student as well. Kind of catch up, see what's going on in the classroom or even just how they're feeling. But being that support system and listening, just listening can just go leaps and bounds and just having your student feel supported. Some kind of principles for helping support your student is these 5 principles right here: listening, accepting, affirming, validating, and reflecting. Now, this is, our students are going through something that none of us have gone through in our lifetime. We've all gone through high school, we've all been teenagers, but not kind of in this current time with just the different stressors that are going on, being virtual, not being able to be, with our peers or even some of our family members necessarily. So, it's a very different time. So just being able to listen, being able to accept that, hey, my student is feeling stress or feeling anxiety or feeling overwhelmed, accepting that and affirming that they're feeling that is what they're experiencing. We might, individually, we might not feel the same way, but that doesn't mean that that's not what they're feeling. And, feeling that validation by us affirming them, validating, hey, I hear that you're, feeling overwhelmed and that's okay that you're feeling that. I'm here to support you. I want to, hear what's going on and listen. That's going to, speak volumes to your student. And then at the end, just reflecting, okay, like maybe there's some, the time of reflection is a time to, show that you heard what your student said, but also it might give your student a chance to be like, okay, I know that this, I can kind of make some adjustments here, or, it gives you guys a chance to kind of talk back and forth, which can also just help with that validation, that affirmation. So outside of the, just that listening aspect and that conversation aspect, what are some very specific things that we could do? Because I like a to-do list personally. So sleep, right? Our students need sleep. So minimum of 8 hours of sleep, 8 to 10, right, is kind of that optimal range. That's going to help with just memory retention, but also just your student being able to like be alert and be engaged, because they're getting an adequate amount of sleep. When they don't sleep enough, they can, like either lose attention or, be sleepy, be, inattentive, stuff like that. Eating healthy meals and our snacks throughout the day with set times, right? Mrs. Casson talked about having set times. Maybe it's like, okay, we're gonna have lunch at noon, we're gonna have a breakfast at 7 a.m., a snack in the middle at 9, something like that, just so you're given a little bit of like fuel, right, nutrition in between classes, and allowing your student's brain to keep getting fed, right, nutrients, and your student's body to be fed nutrients. Brain breaks. So brain breaks are key. And brain breaks, I just want to make this very clear. Brain breaks aren't doing something to better your college application. For some students, if it's like, hey, like I'm going to give you a chance to take a break from working on academics. Now go practice a sport or an instrument or a skill that we want to put on your college application. That's stressful still. We want something that they enjoy, that they want to do as a hobby, or they feel relaxation from it. So, and some ideas for that could just be going outside, going for a walk, playing some type of game, reading a book that they're interested in. Like, I'm a big book nerd. Well, I was a big book nerd. I'm trying to get back into it, but I'm very into like sci-fi. So Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Dune, any of these, like, just completely science fiction novels, I really enjoy those. It kind of gives me an escape to a different world. But anyways, cooking, playing, listening to music, talking with friends, spending time with family, playing a sport, riding a bike, watching a show, things that are going to help us relax and help us kind of separate ourselves from, right, that for our students, that work, right, that academics that we're kind of stressing over. Give us a little bit of an escape, let our brain kind of relax a little bit. But also community, family and friends time, right? Designated time together for your family, right? Could be a walk, could be making a meal together, eating a meal together, right? Maybe not necessarily, like at a table so we can talk, right? That kind of goes into that, be supportive and listen. Or with friends, maybe it's, giving them a chance to communicate, if it's via Zoom or, whatever, you feel comfortable with, having them communicate with their friends. Those are going to be, helpful ways to give them brain breaks and to help them find that balance. I gave you like the what's, but now it's like the how, like how much, what's too much, what's too little, that kind of thing. It's going to be a little different for everybody. I'm not going to say do this specific thing and that's what's going to work. Everyone's different. Everyone comes from different backgrounds, different situations. So these are some suggestions for the brain break specifically, right? It could be last 5 minutes of every hour. That kind of goes into that passing period style where, oh, okay, I have a class for 55 minutes. Then I get 5 minutes to myself, get a snack, go outside for a couple minutes. If you have a pet, play with your pet for a couple minutes. Maybe it's 10 to 15 minutes every other hour. Maybe you kind of go a block schedule for school. Okay, I'm going to have my student work for about an hour 45, 2 hours, and then get about a 10 to 20 minute break where they can, play a game, watch a quick video or a show, read a little bit of a book they enjoy, something like that. Maybe it's halfway through the day, kind of a lunchtime break, right? 45 to 60 minutes. So about after 3.5 hours of work, give them a nice big chunk of a break so they can, okay, I can let my brain recharge. I can get some food in me. I can kind of recuperate. Okay, now I'm feeling pretty good. Now I can go back and get to work. Maybe it's all of the above, right? Everyone's going to be different. And your student might respond better to different things. Some students might like 5 minutes every hour. Some students the 10 to 15 every other hour, right? Everyone's going to be a little bit different. But just a reminder, brain breaks should be enjoyable, fun, and restful. We don't want them to be doing something that's kind of stressing them out, making them feel overwhelmed as well, but something that they enjoy. And so I'm going to kick it off over back to Mrs. Gonzalez, and she is going to fill us in on some upcoming dates.
Oh, that was awesome, Mr. Dorian. Thank you for that. That's a good reminder for my 2 teenagers that I got to make sure that I'm, they're finding joy and getting these breaks with their hard academic schedule they've got going on right now, especially during virtual. So for our future meeting dates, we just finished Striving for Balance. Next month in November, we're going to talk about healthy habits for school and life. And we're not going to just touch on your teens, but we're going to touch on healthy habits and for us too, because I think as parents, if we're not balanced, we're not modeling being balanced or being healthy for our kids. So we're going to touch on the whole thing. And again, stay connected with us. Here's Join Our Remind. Here's our contact information. If you need anything at any time, please email us. We get back within 24 hours, usually sooner. And again, here's links to resources for you and your student. We've put academic, college, and career as well as mental health wellness for you. So you can click on any of these links and you're going to be able to see some of the things that we've been referencing. And then here's articles. So again, there's articles linked within our presentation tonight. And then these are some other ones that we just keep putting up because they're important. And that's going to be it for today. We didn't have any questions. So if you do have questions that come to your mind after watching this, go ahead and contact us. But thank you for joining us. And we really appreciate you tuning in tonight. And we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Bye.